This is Land of Havilah, Exodus 25. The people ratified Yahweh's covenant enthusiastically. Then Yahweh ratified it by appearing to the elders and allowing them to eat and drink in his presence. Now Yahweh wants to dwell with them permanently. Therefore, coming up, he'll command Moses to build a portable structure for his personal dwelling called the Tabernacle. He wants it and the furnishings of it to be built to exact detail. In this chapter through chapter 31, 7 chapters, Yahweh will give the specifications. It happened during a 40-day session on Mount Sinai. On the last day, Yahweh will hand Moses the stone tablets with the 10 commandments. Of course, God can occupy a structure, but no structure can contain him. Quote, "Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. What kind of house will you build to me?" Isaiah 66:1. First, Yahweh will tell Moses where to get the construction materials. Verse 1. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel that they take an offering for me. From everyone whose heart makes him willing you shall take my offering. This is the offering which you shall take from them: gold, silver, brass, blue, purple, scarlet, fine linen, goat's hair, ram skins dyed red, sea-cow hides, acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod and for the breastplate. Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them." Comment: the best news was in verse 8 that Yahweh intends to dwell with them. The tabernacle will be his dwelling place or holy place. It'll be a large portable structure with 2 rooms made of fine and expensive material. In verse 2, Moses will tell the people what materials are needed, and the people will give the materials as an offering. In the New Covenant, God dwells not in man-made structures, but in the believer. Acts 7:48 and 2 Corinthians 6:16, quote, "You are the temple of the living God." Verse 9, "According to all that I show you, the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furniture, even so you shall make it." Comment: Hebrews 8:5 indicates that this verse was a warning to Moses. Yahweh said, "Be sure to construct the tabernacle and its furniture just the way I'm showing it to you." The reason, according to Hebrews 8:5, because the tabernacle and each item in it will be, quote, "a copy and shadow of heavenly things," end quote. In other words, the tabernacle will be constructed as a copy of God's dwelling place in heaven, not an exact copy by any means, but only a shadow of it, quote, "a copy and shadow of heavenly things," end quote. Coming up, the specifications for the tabernacle's number 1 most holy item, the Ark of the Covenant. Verse 10, "They shall make an ark of acacia wood. Its length shall be 2.5 cubits, its width 1.5 cubits, and 1.5 cubits its height." Comment: ark is Hebrew aron. It'll be a wooden chest overlaid with gold, about the size of a modern blanket chest. The specs, verse 11, "You shall overlay it with pure gold. You shall overlay it inside and outside, and you shall make a gold molding around it. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in its 4 feet. The 2 rings shall be on the one side of it, and the 2 rings on the other side of it. You shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. You shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry the ark. The poles shall be in the rings of the ark. They shall not be taken from it. You shall put the testimony which I shall give you into the ark." Comment: the ark will be made of acacia wood overlaid with gold. It'll have 4 gold rings attached to the 4 feet of it. The rings will accept poles. The poles will be for the priests to hold while they transport the ark from place to place during their travels. In verse 15, even though the poles are removable, quote, "they shall not be taken from the ark," end quote. The poles will remain in the rings all the time. In verse 16, Yahweh will give Moses the testimony, meaning the stone tablets with the 10 commandments written on them. The tablets or testimony will be stored inside the ark. But that's not the full meaning of the testimony. The totality of the testimony will be the stone tablets, the pot of manna Yahweh already mentioned, and the rod of Aaron not yet mentioned. These 3 items will be stored inside the ark. Plus, Yahweh will command that Moses' writings be kept next to the ark, Deuteronomy 31:26. All these things together will be the testimony, meaning the testimony of Yahweh and Moses of what happened in that generation. Coming up, the ark will have a lid called the mercy seat. It won't be wood overlaid with gold. It'll be one solid piece of hammered gold, this mercy seat, about 3 feet 9 inches long and 2 feet 3 inches wide. Verse 17, You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits shall be its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. You shall make 2 cherubim of hammered gold. You shall make them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherub at the one end and 1 cherub at the other end. You shall make the cherubim on its 2 ends of one piece with the mercy seat. The cherubim shall spread out their wings upward, covering the mercy seat with their wings, with their faces toward one another. The faces of the cherubim shall be toward the mercy seat. Comment: In Hebrew construction, cherub is singular and cherubim is plural. Cherubim are heavenly creatures with wings that attend the throne of God. Ezekiel 1, Ezekiel 10, and Revelation 4. It'll be fitting to have cherubim associated with the mercy seat because the mercy seat's a copy and shadow of God's heavenly throne. In verse 19, the 2 cherubim will be one piece with the mercy seat, one on each end. The whole thing, the cherubim and the mercy seat, will be one solid piece of gold. In verse 20, they'll face each other, these cherubim, with their wings raised in front of them toward the center of the seat. They're usually depicted in a bowing posture. Why the name mercy seat? Because when we come to God, first, He's merciful that we don't die in His presence, and 2, He's merciful, period, any time we come to Him. But, of course, we must come in total respect and repentance. From the New Testament, quote, Let's therefore draw near with boldness to the throne of grace that we may receive mercy and may find grace for help in time of need. Hebrews 4:16. It is, after all, the mercy seat. Verse 20. You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I will give you. There I will meet with you, and I will tell you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark of the testimony, all that I command you for the children of Israel. Comment: God will meet with Moses with His voice coming, quote, from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim, end quote. This bit of information solidifies the intention of the mercy seat as being a copy and shadow of God's heavenly throne. Coming up, another item to be kept in the tabernacle. Verse 23. You shall make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, and 1 cubit its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold, and make a gold molding around it. You shall make a rim of a hand width around it. You shall make a golden molding on its rim around it. You shall make 4 rings of gold for it, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on its 4 feet. The rings shall be close to the rim for places for the poles to carry the table. You shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be carried with them. You shall make its dishes, its spoons, its ladles, and its bowls to pour out offerings with. You shall make them of pure gold. You shall set bread of the presence on the table before me always. Comment: This is the bread table, also called the table of showbread. Yahweh will command the priest to keep ceremonial bread on the table. He called the bread of the presence, meaning His presence. The bread represents God's presence. Bread that goes in the stomach is only a weak copy and shadow of the much more satisfying filling that God gives us in His presence. Jesus said, quote, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will not be hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. John 6:35. The table will be acacia wood, but overlaid completely with gold. It too will have gold rings attached to it, which will accept poles for transport. The poles will be acacia wood overlaid with gold as well. Coming up, specifications for a solid gold 7-armed lampstand, Hebrew menorah. Verse 31. You shall make a lampstand of pure gold. Of hammered work shall the lampstand be made, even its base, its shaft, its cups, its buds, and its flowers shall be of one piece with it. There shall be 6 branches going out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of its one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of its other side. 3 cups made like almond blossoms in one branch, a bud and a flower, and 3 cups made like almond blossoms in the other branch, a bud and a flower, so for the 6 branches going out of the lampstand. And in the lampstand 4 cups made like almond blossoms, its buds and its flowers, and a bud under 2 branches of one piece with it, and a bud under 2 branches of one piece with it, and a bud under 2 branches of one piece with it, for the 6 branches going out of the lampstand. Their buds and their branches shall be of one piece with it, all of it one beaten work of pure gold. You shall make its lamps 7, and they shall light its lamps to give light to the space in front of it. Its snuffers and its snuff dishes shall be of pure gold. It shall be made of a talent of pure gold with all these accessories. See that you make them after their pattern which has been shown to you on the mountain. Comment, not mentioned here, the lampstand isn't for putting on a table. It's a big floor model. However, the tabernacle won't have a floor other than the earth, Numbers 5:17. The lampstand will have a main trunk and 6 branches, 3 on each side. The branches, buds, and flowers will be like those of an almond tree. There'll be 7 lamps on it. The entire thing will be one solid hammered piece of pure gold, a talent of pure gold, which is about 70 pounds. Remembering Hebrews 8:5 that the tabernacle and its items were a copy and shadow of heavenly things, the light will represent God's guidance and the light he emanates from his person. Speaking of the light he emanates, in the heavenly city Jerusalem, quote, "The city has no need for a sun, neither of the moon to shine, for the very glory of God illuminated it, and its lamp is the Lamb," Revelation 21:23. That's the chapter. Check out some images of these things by search engine, but what we really want to see is the heavenly sanctuary referenced in Hebrews 8:2, quote, "The true tabernacle which the Lord pitched, not man," end quote. Exodus 26 is next at landofhavilah.net, Exodus 26.